Welcome to episode 161 of the Concealed Taco Dudes podcast.
Woo! It's too bad we didn't do a Cinco de Mayo recording. You know, Taco Dudes on the Cinco de Mayo.
We could have got lots of racism feedback.
I know, it would have been great. Remember the one feedback where a guy
didn't like our logo?
Yeah, he was so offended
by our racist logo.
I'm so offended. How dare you?
I still don't understand how.
It's like, wait. So. Who are you to say that cactus is a Mexican? Like, you're
cactus?
The racist.
That's a cactus? I thought it was a pickle.
Like a green blob. It's like, yeah, you know, check your privilege. I think that's what they say, right? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't pay attention to those people.
Are you white or are you brown? I'm brown, so I don't know. And I approve this logo. Yeah, anyways.
Yeah.
It's just funny. People get offended at the dumbest things.
Well, I think there's a certain group of people that want to be offended. They look for it.
They need to be offended to feel worth.
Feel like they're doing...
have purpose in life.
Yeah.
You know, the funniest thing, too, is some of these brands, so you got, like, Aunt Jemima. And now it's like... Black people getting offended. It's actually white people getting offended for black people.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, how dare we use a black person and an Aunt Jemima name to make delicious sugary syrup to put on our pancakes?
Yeah.
How dare white people do that? It's like, well, actually it tastes pretty good. How dare we use like this really good stuff on our pancakes?
Where I grew up in Silicon Valley in California. Mm-hmm. And I distinctly remember there was a restaurant called Black Sambo's. and the mascot was a little black Indian boy with a head wrap.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, what the crap? I mean, even back then, even in like the late 70s and the early 80s, I thought that was weird. Little Black Sambos, I'm like, that's weird.
But the thing is, you never know. Like, where did maybe there's a little black guy who like went to...
Maybe that was the guy who started it.
Who started it, yeah.
I doubt it, but...
Yeah, well, there's the one... You know, there's a radio caller in and who is offended at the guy and, you know, the radio host, right? And it was just saying something, and then something that said, well, you're just, you know, racist or whatever, and, you know, you're not black or whatever, so you wouldn't know. And he's like, excuse me? Because he was black. But she assumed that because he has certain political viewpoints or, like... He
didn't sound black.
Yeah, that he couldn't be black. Yeah. Anyways, it's funny. I find that the people who call racist are usually the most racist.
Yeah, and regardless of what color they actually are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live in weird times. My opinion, people stop looking for opportunities to be offended.
Yeah.
Just who cares? I don't have the time or the energy to be offended by people.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody's being a jerk, whatever, you go live your life. I'll just avoid you if it comes to that. But yeah, what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point?
People get offended too easy. They're too soft.
Well, and I find that when I've been in situations where something has bothered me, where I've wanted to take offense at something, I'll step back and I'll think about it for a minute and think, okay, what were they really meaning how I'm taking it? And almost without exception, it's like, no, they weren't trying to be rude or mean. They just were insensitive or just didn't think before they said something. Yeah. So it's like, I'm not going to be offended by somebody who just wasn't thinking when they said something.
Yeah, you know what would be the most offensive language? Is if you took, like, South Americans and converted what they say into English.
Explain. Because I'm offended right now.
I'm offended. So, you know, I lived in Venezuela for a while and, you know, learned Spanish, but they're just blunt people.
Oh, yeah.
And so there
are a lot of cultures like that.
Yeah, just because of their bluntness, like, you know, if you have dark skin, they'll call you blackie.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know how that translates in, you know,
Sure.
into English, but,
Right.
you know, my friend, you know, he had acne on his face, and, you know, they'd come up and say, hey, you know, you have an ugly face. You should do something to fix that.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, kind of taken back, like, what? You
Yeah.
said I had an ugly face.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're just saying, hey, you have, like, you know. But there was no, like, malintent behind it.
Right.
They're just saying,
Exactly.
hey, you have, like, acne. You should, there's, like, medicine. You should probably fix that or something.
Yeah.
You know, or,
Yeah.
you know, if you're really light-colored skin, they call you, like, whitey. Or,
Whitey.
you know, the Spanish English translation equivalent to like whitey or blackie, or, you know,
Yeah.
like they called me little Chinese guy, right?
Even though you're not.
I'm like, I'm not Chinese, but sure, yeah, okay. They called me El Chinito.
El Chinito.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like that.
Yeah, so that's what like they all did. I don't know why, but like
Well,
it's
that's what I'm calling you now.
like actually, like soy japonés, but. Okay, El Chinito. Every Asian was El Chinito,
Right.
or Chinito, whatever
Right.
it is. Or if you had like slanted eyes or whatever, they'd call you Chinito or Chino, El Chino, whatever. Anyways,
Yeah.
so like if you were to take that culture
Yeah.
and just translate it into English and just say any of those things, you would be like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm so offended.
Right.
Yeah, anyways. So it's just funny. Different cultures, different, yeah. But a lot of the South American cultures are just, they're very
They're very blunt.
and
Well,
and I know Russians are very blunt too.
Yeah, I spent a little bit of time in Asia, in Hong Kong, and the Chinese culture is very much that way too. Oh, you were very fat, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
but in China, being fat is a
like-
symbol of prosperity.
Yeah.
So for them to say, oh, you look very fat, you look very prosperous.
Yeah.
You know,
That's instead of being offended,
it's
you
more
know,
of a compliment.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That was a long time ago. I'm sure the culture's changed a little bit.
Well, they'd call you "Hey fatty," you know.
Yeah.
Spanish, like, "Hey gordo," you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's just funny. They like physical things. They would like if you had a physical characteristic that would.
If you had a big nose, that's what
they call you hey big nose, and you know, not because they're trying to say, you know, degrade you.
Yeah.
It's just because you have a big nose, and it's
just
the
the way
easiest
you
way
are.
to like
Identify.
whatever.
you.
Yeah, it's just like he has a big nose. Let's call him Big Nose.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, wow, that was a tangent.
I don't know how we got off on that.
Yeah,
But you're welcome.
Yes, your weekly Taco and Jason cultural experience.
Your cultural, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, should we hit some sponsors really fast?
Yes.
NOE Bullet Molds at noebulletmolds.com. Use the code FLT001.
It'll still save you some money.
Save you some money.
Just a couple of quick things that they're working on. They're working on inventory items. If there's something that you've wanted for a while, you know, just give Al a call,
Yeah.
and he will work that into their run schedule.
Yeah.
A lot of times people will just look at it and say,
The squeaky
you never,
wheel gets
you never
the oil."
have this in stock, you know,
Yeah.
I can't buy it, you know, poor me, you know. And
Yeah.
he's like, well, just let us know. And, you know,
Yeah.
but email is the worst method of contact. Give him a
Yes.
call. So,
Yeah.
voice contact, it seems like that always takes priority.
Right.
So, and if you live in a different country and you're like, I can't call, then provide listener feedback to us.
And we'll call.
And I will call him up personally and say, hey, Al, can you run this one?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
ConcealedTacoDudes@gmail.com.
Yep. Utah Air Guns at utahairguns.com. They are gearing up for the Rocky Mountain Air Gun Challenge.
Yes.
I'm going to try and go watch again this year.
Let me know when you go. Hopefully
Okay.
I'm in town.
Yeah, and I don't know the exact dates, so I don't know if I'm even going to be available
it's
either.
like it's
but
coming up soon.
it's in June. I want to say the 20th, but I don't know if
that's
that's
like-
right or not.
I will be like in a canyon, I think.
Yeah.
But
There's a high possibility I'll be doing the same. But,
Yeah.
Anyway, Utah Air Guns, go check them out. With how difficult and expensive ammo is lately, Air guns just make more and more sense all the time.
And if you have a problem with vermin,
oh yes,
you can follow my example and lay waste with the Utah Air Guns.
Yep.
Air gun.
Quiet, discreet, and effective.
Very effective, like between the eyes effective.
Yep.
Yeah.
Use the code AIRCANDY and you'll get free shipping and free turret stickers.
Yeah.
Black ice coatings.
Okay, real quick. We're talking effective, like you can shoot a mouse at like 50 yards accurate. So
depending on which gun you buy.
I'm talking about with my skills and my gun.
There are multiple.
If you have Jason skills, we don't know what you can hit, but
they have multiple options that are capable of that.
Yes. And even with some of the less expensive options,
yeah,
with a little bit of tuning and finding out what pellet weight and what pellet it shoots, you can dial those less expensive options in pretty good.
Yeah.
So that little Air Venturi Avenger, their wood one is on sale. I saw that in their email flyer.
How much?
It was $379 instead of $4 or something.
Nice.
So something like that.
Good starter.
Don't hold me to it, but
yeah,
that's a really good one, and that's the one I got for Noah.
Yeah.
If he becomes worthy of it. He's lately chosen to play video games instead of go shoot stuff, but we'll see.
Yeah.
He is on the schedule for going to that Colorado squirrel hunt.
Oh.
And we'll see if he can redeem himself. So, anyways.
Okay. Can I talk about black ice coatings?
Yes. I could talk about black ice too. I have my helmet there, my climbing helmet.
Yeah.
And it's gonna have a base layer of like a zombie green, lime green, and then a metallic, like kind of silver and black skull pattern.
Cool.
So that in the sun, like sun shining down, it'll give a faint green
glow.
With like, you can see the green probably underneath the metallic, like the silver part of the skulls. So
very cool.
I'm very excited to have the coolest climbing helmet that I've ever seen of our whole group.
And you're getting flying pigs on your hog hunter?
Yes, yes. So hopefully if Lee still listens to this podcast, he's like, oh yeah, I gotta hurry and do that. Because Taco's gonna need that helmet pretty soon.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I might need to just give him a call and just ask him.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Go check out Black Ice Coatings on social media, see what they're up to. They do awesome gun finishes, Teflon coating, Cerakoting.
Yeah.
The best quality you'll find on any of that stuff.
And he can do so many different combinations.
Yeah.
Like I think I was telling him, okay, I want the Teflon on the inside because that just makes the bolt move really good, especially on like a Savage, that isn't quite as, it's pretty smooth, but it makes it a little bit nicer.
Right.
And then, the barrel, I think I told him like just whatever, like he could Cerakote it pink or whatever. I didn't care. I was hoping for a decent surprise, but then, do the dip on the action or the stocks and grips or whatever.
Yeah. Cool.
So I'm actually really excited.
That'll be fun to see.
Because that'll be in time for I'm going to take another youth group shooting, and if I bust out the hog hunter with like flying pigs on it, like and hot pink and whatever, they're gonna be like, what? What is this? And it's gonna be just awesome. I'll be like, yes.
Yep, for sure. So call up Lee, not Al, Lee, Black Ice Coatings. Let him know if you've got a project and tell him you want it slickery.
Yes. Tell him Taco sent you.
Yeah.
Or Jason.
Yeah. No, what was it?
El Chinito sent you.
El Chinito! Okay. Mag holder at magholder.com. Best horizontal mag carriers out there. I love them. I sell them. You can get them at magholder.com. Use the code. Get in the van. I have candy. And you'll save a bunch of money. But they've got lots of cool stuff on their website too. Lots of swag and stuff too, which is kind of fun. Utah Air Guns. We already did Utah Air Guns.
Yeah, you just have them on your mind because
I know
you need to go there, and
I need to get my no-toast, but they haven't got them yet.
I have a no-toast.
I know you do.
I want to get my no-toast dipped.
Okay.
I don't know, something. If the listeners have feedback of what they'd like an inexpensive air gun to be like dipped in, let me know.
All right. No, Concealment Solutions.
Oh yeah, sorry.
That one. That's where we were going. ConcealmentSolutions.com. The knives are on the website. Somebody asked me who's making the knives, where they come from. I guess I didn't specify that very clearly in the descriptions and everything. The company is called BPS, and they are out of Ukraine. They're handmade. Most of what I have in stock is the high carbon steel. I personally prefer high carbon steel over stainless for most applications because it sharpens really well, holds an edge incredibly well, and they're just good functional knives. But there are a couple stainless options on there as well. I just reordered more knives, and I have 4 new models that are coming. So hopefully by the middle of next month I'll have those. But those are really nice, great bushcrafting knives. They're super solid. You can baton with them. They're great for, making feather sticks and fire starting, processing game. They're awesome knives.
Just as a side note.
Yes.
I think, how many did I drop off? Is it 7?
6 or 7.
Yeah, I dropped off 7 knives that I ordered of those BPS knives.
Right.
And I'm having Jason do a plethora of different sheaths and
with the ferro rod. So
yeah.
you'll most likely you're going to want to add the ferro rod when you order the knife and sheath combo.
It makes it so cool.
The ferro rods are massive. I call them flamethrowers because they throw so much spark. It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, and so I was asking Jason, because I was trying to decide if I should do one on a stainless steel knife blade. And I was like, do you know if the stainless still throws the sparks as good or good enough to... And so I tried it out with my knife, and it's just a shower of sparks on it. I was like, hopefully your shop doesn't catch on fire.
Yeah.
But so that was impressive.
I added pictures of me using the ferro rod with the knives and with the ferro rod on the website. It looks like there's a fire going because it is so bright. There is no fire going in that picture. That is strictly the sparks coming off the ferro rod. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah, I should do when you finish those knives. I'm gonna do a video.
Okay.
Or a couple videos. I want to show it off, and then I want to do like a slow motion video, like zoomed in
on the sparks.
The sparks. Yeah, like up close and like far. Because I think it'd be cool to watch what it looks like when you're throwing the shower of sparks. Like when the knife is scraping that thing.
Yeah.
I just have to make sure I hold it steady enough.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and I've used a lot of different fire starters, different ferro rods and different tools that spark and things like that. And if you know me and if you know my products, I like to keep things simple. I feel like they function better and they last longer. And these ferro rods are exactly that. They're totally simple. They're totally overbuilt.
Yeah.
And they just work amazingly well.
Once you get a little bit, like, the more wary... Because they come with a coating.
Yeah, the black coating. You got to scrape that off.
So you got to scrape that off in order to get sparks.
You got to get down to the metal.
I haven't used mine as much as you.
Yeah.
And so I was like
mine's
trying to show
all chewed
people.
Up.
But yours has it's flat and it has a few grooves.
Yeah.
And so when I tested yours, it was like, holy crap, that's like a lot of sparks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm thinking gift wise, these make tons of sense for like an outdoorsman. I think.
And Father's Day is coming up.
How soon is Father's Day?
Father's Day is, I want to say it's June 18th.
Yeah.
So it's a month away.
Okay. I just don't know if my dad's getting old. He's like 74 or something.
Wow.
So I don't think he could camps anymore. So I don't know if the ferro rod would be a good gift, but maybe just the knife with the
sheath.
A sheath would be more.
Yeah. So most of them, you go on the website, you pick the knife you want, and there will be a menu where you pick the color for the sheath. And then if you want the ferro rod, you go to the ferro rod and add that, and you pick the color of the Kydex for the ferro rod holder that is integrated into the knife sheath. So totally custom. But they're awesome. Also, the new belts, the new Python EDC belts, a nylon belt with a stiffener inside of it. It's not steel. People ask, oh, it's got a steel core? No. I don't like the steel cores just because you have the potential of potentially
cutting through
the potential of potentially no, not really cutting through, but metal bends. If you get a bend in it, then it's going to be wonky. The polymer stiffener, I use the same one I've been using in my leather belts forever.
It's non-memory polymer.
Yes. But anyway, those are awesome. And then lots of custom holsters, anything you want. As always, if you don't see what you're looking for, let me know. You can call me, you can text me, you can send me an email, and we'll figure out what we can do to help you out. Use the code SHOWMETHECANDY, and you'll save 15% off your entire order.
All right. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into listener feedback.
Okay.
And I will say we got quite a few responses about Bolo.
I didn't realize those ties were so popular.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and read some of the listener feedback. So I chose the one Bolo response that was the most entertaining.
Okay.
But all the rest of you who
I even got
responded to
got text messages from people. Like, wow, we struck a chord with that one somehow.
I guess if you ask like a kind of a dumb question, you get a lot of responses. It's like, duh.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, so this one is from Harmungus, and he says, and these are all capital like letters for the right word or whatever.
Okay.
So it says, be on lookout for skinny ties.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for skinny ties, Bolo. And then he said that he tried to stack the NOE discounts the other day. It didn't take. The $1,000 club discount still stacked fine with the sale.
Yeah.
From NOE. That sale is over. It was a good sale for Al. And he says that he had to get the cute little 454 hollow base wad cutter on sale.
Nice.
So that was a good one. That's a fun one. I need to, I've been so busy. It's been hard to do the, load up all these bullets I've cast.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then Andy 79Z28 says, that is great news that Al is making a new liner for the Lee 420 pot so you can cast zinc. I would buy one.
Wow.
I've told Al that there's quite a few people who would be interested in that as an upgrade to their pot instead of having these super thin, like, I think it might be, I don't know, stainless steel or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost paper thin.
Wow.
Like steel pot, right?
Yeah.
But, with the thicker pot liner that Al is trying to make or thinking about making or in the process of making, he's already got some metal materials. He just has to get the flange cut and the bottom circle and then start welding and then anyways. So he wants to make a prototype first and then but I said I will gladly test your prototype. So, and then we got one from Nathan from Oregon, and he says, hello from Northeast Oregon. Bought my first PCP.
Woo! Right on.
And he says, an Avenger Bullpup 177, and was blown away with the accuracy.
Yeah.
Quarter-sized groups at 35 yards without a good rest while using cheap Walmart pellets. I'd say he probably lucked out on a good combination with that.
Yeah.
If you grab any cheap Walmart pellet, likelihood of it shooting good would be, I would say, not as.
And Utah Air Guns will ship pellets to you.
Yeah, you can order those, and I think they do if you get
I think if you buy four tins, you get one free. Yeah.
So, anyways, he says, I just grabbed an old Leupold rifle scope and tossed it on, but do you have a recommendation for your favorite scope? And he explains it will be used to whack ground squirrels. The sub $200 Amazon. And so he starts to. Let's talk about scope recommendations. So man,
You're more of a scope aficionado than I am.
I would say it really is dependent on your budget.
Yeah.
You know, how high of a, because there's all kinds of...
Any gun you're talking about, the more you spend on an optic, the better.
Yeah.
Is really kind of the way it works.
Yeah.
But...
So for a couple of my guns, I just threw on like a Strike Eagle. Mm-hmm. And I know that's not like cheap, and it's not probably recommended by a lot of people, but it's just a simple one to operate with like...
And what's the magnification?
It goes from 1 to 6 or 1 to 8, depending on which one you have.
Which I think for most air gun shooting that people are going to do, that's about where you want to be.
Part of it too depends if you're wanting something that's really fast and that you don't have to worry about the parallax.
Right.
So if you have a parallax-free scope, then, you know, of course the parallax is set at a specific distance.
Right.
And you just adjust your magnification if you're shooting at closer shots.
Right.
And so it could still be clear.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is with that Strike Eagle. With, you know, when Noah was going on squirrel hunts with me, that's what he used. I had the little throw lever, and if it was close, he'd just zoom out so he could see it and focus. And if it was farther, he'd like just hit the throw lever to zoom in a little bit. And
what's the price range on the Strike Eagle?
I can't remember. I know it seems like Palmetto always has like a deal going on where you get the mount and the scope for like, you know, a savings of $200 off or something when combined. So you're not looking at a really cheap scope,
right?
But yeah, and I would say, oh man, I'm a little on the higher end.
Yeah.
Well, the extreme opposites, right? So on mine, I threw one of the Vortex, the lightweight hunters. Mm-hmm. I have like the 30 millimeter tube Gen 2 3 to 15 on my the Impact. And then on my Crown that I use all the time, I just have the 1-inch tube, the previous generation Light Hunter. And that has really good glass. It's lightweight. And if you are going to be looking through it for a lot of hours, then the better glass you buy prevents the eye fatigue.
Right.
So, or at least pushes it off so you can shoot longer.
Right.
But there's lots of really good, inexpensive scopes that, you know, can cut, you know, cut it. You have to know what your budget is. So if you want to write back in and tell us kind of what your budget is, then we can have a bunch of recommendations.
Right. And see, for me, you know, he said he just had a loophole stock that wasn't on something that he put on it.
Yeah, that would be...
I would say if that's working, there's no reason to put something else on it. But
yeah, it just depends too. If it's something where you're going to be walking and hunting versus setting up and like tripod shooting.
If you're shooting ground squirrels off your back porch, you're gonna probably use something different than if you're traipsing through the woods with it.
Yeah. I think, you know, because a lot of people will throw these like high end or, you know, kind of long range precision rifle scopes.
We know people that
on
have
their air guns.
Night Force scopes on their air guns,
and it's simply because they use them so much.
Yeah,
it's their most used gun, so they can rationalize that cost.
Yeah,
and so I mean it makes sense to put as good a glass on as.
And the one that I use the most, or have used the most, is my little Benjamin with like an ancient, I think it's a Bushnell.
Yeah.
To like 22 scope. And I'm shooting sparrows at like 20 to 30 yards, but I'm hitting them in the eyeball too. So you know, it's
some of the shots we took were like my brother and I like the smaller sparrows, and you know, with those the screechy birds. What are those called?
Owls.
No, the ones that everybody hates. They're black. Starlings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are like legal to shoot like pretty much everywhere, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe not everywhere.
Yeah.
But anyways, we were picking those off like, I don't know, some of the shots were like 100 yards and
wow.
you just have to hold. And so that's where having bigger magnification pays off.
Right.
Because if you're shooting a sparrow or, you know,
something
a smaller
tiny
target,
at a long distance.
a mouse at 50 yards, you're going to want to like
Yeah.
be able to zoom in, and so.
Right.
So I guess we haven't really answered your question, but on the low end, on my loner guns, I've put some really inexpensive, like a UTG scope.
Yeah.
I think it was like a 3-9, and
I have that right-on fixed power on.
oh, the right-on one, I actually like that one. It has pretty good glass.
Yeah.
But it's just a fixed 4-power scope.
Right.
But that one, I was gonna say that one is.
on my-
I don't know how many things you've killed with it, but that has killed a lot when I borrowed it for.
Yeah.
For
You've
one of the
probably
squirrel
killed more
shots.
stuff than I have with it.
Or squirrel hunts, yeah. That was one of the ones that was great. What gun is that? The Air Force.
That's the Talon P.
The Talon P, yeah. So Talon P with just a fixed 4-power right-on scope.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple, easy to use. Nobody has to do a side focus or anything.
You don't have to fiddle with it.
Yeah. You just can't zoom in when you need to take a really long shot.
Right. But I find it's easier if you need to take a quick shot too, because you're not worried about I need to zoom in or zoom out or whatever.
And when we were shooting those, like I guess it was like a family or
you were shooting a family
of rock chucks in this wood pile. It's kind of funny. They weren't woodchucks in a wood pile. It was rock chucks in a. You think that rock chucks would be in a rock pile.
They deserve to die then.
Yeah, they were just confused. So we shot this confused family of rock chucks, and only their, about, I guess, the very top end of their neck and their head was showing, because they're like
they're poking them
poke up, and we were shooting them, I think it was like 35 yards.
Wow.
And so that's where the magnification and the clarity and the ability to focus at that distance at the highest magnification, like I was full 15 power, because headshot, you get one shot, and then if you miss or if you hit it, you gotta wait for like 10 minutes or whatever before they get curious and pop up again.
Yeah.
So it all depends on how you're shooting, but I'd say that Leupold scope is a good.
Leupolds have good glass.
You may decide that that's what you want to keep on it, but if you're needing more magnification, then take a look at some other stuff.
Yeah.
But the long-range precision scopes usually weigh a lot. Yeah. And that's where, those Vortex Hunter scopes are really nice. Mm-hmm. They've got good glass, but they also weigh a little less. There's some other brands, Bushnell, they make some good stuff that's, cheaper. And so let us know what your budget is, and we'll come back with that. Oh, and he also says the sub $200 Amazon compressor with a 4-year warranty will be getting a workout. Now to amass different brands and styles of pellets to tinker with, all while playing with the adjustable pressure and hammer spring. After years of listening to Taco talk about air guns and the 35 cal Wildcat, I've enjoyed the podcast. P.S. What gun was the anniversary present from 2 years ago? I won some swag back then, but I can't remember the results of it. And I can't remember if that was the mystery, like when I was doing the contest and giveaway. But I ended up giving away a Rossi 92 in 44 mag.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I actually had a couple of different guns that the guy could pick from.
Wow.
But it's always a risk because you don't know what that mystery gift is.
Yeah.
And so the guy who won that, I gave him a call and told him I had a couple options. He could have got the Beretta CX4 carbine. That was one of the options.
Those are kind of cool too.
I know. There were quite a few cool things, but he ended up going with the Rossi.
I think that's what I would have too.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, all right. And we have one from our favorite Kevin C. And he says, you guys don't need to apologize for delays in episodes. You're giving us great content for free with considerable effort on your part. Free ice cream, so to speak, or as I would say, free candy.
Yeah.
Regarding the New York City parking attendant charged with murder and illegal possession of a firearm. 1. The DA is Alvin Bragg, who lets violent criminals walk while charging Trump with trumped-up charges which are purely political. 2. Statistically, pistol shots are 20% fatal, so it's not surprising he was able to keep fighting. Rifle and shotguns are 60% fatal due to the higher energy and shockwave effects.
Yeah.
Hydrostatic shock is a real thing.
Oh, for sure.
I broke a shooting table due to hydrostatic shock. Yeah, I put the gel blocks, the ballistic gel, on my folding table, and it.
What were you shooting?
Well, okay, yeah, we were shooting it with these super deep hollow point 500 mag bullets, and that hydrostatic shock cracked lots of cracks on the top of the table. I was like, what? Wow. So yeah, if you're gonna shoot ballistic gel, put a board under it, and the board will take that shock and protect your plastic folding table. Yeah. And then he says, Taco, you may want to think about a zinc or a lead zinc composite bullet to get the weight up while keeping the hardness of zinc. Question, which is better, zinc core or zinc casing? I assume you cast zinc first because hot zinc would melt lead if you did lead first. Maybe use that mold with the interchangeable cores, leaving a big hole in the zinc and fill it later with lead. Or make zinc cores and lead sheaths like a poor man's M855. Or M855. Do you know anyone who can make custom molds? Winky emoji. Note, the second mold may need dimensions adjusted for the shrink on the first shot. When I worked at an injection mold company, I did 2-shot molded plastic project. Keep up the great podcast. So if I were to say that I wanted to mess around with like bimetal bullets using zinc and lead, I would probably do a lead core with a zinc sleeve or as he says, a casing, even though it's the bullet, the projectile. And so if you could do something like that, get I guess a really deep hollow point zinc mold, and then fill it with lead, then that would be interesting. That could oh man, although it'd be flipped reversed, so you'd have to have 2 molds, I think. So you'd have to have one to cast the casings, and then you put it inside, and then pour the lead inside, and then cut the tips or whatever.
I wonder what you would get out of a bullet made that way. Because the zinc's a lot harder, isn't it?
Zinc is harder, so you wouldn't have to coat it or lube it.
You could potentially make something that's super penetrating because the hard zinc case with a heavy lead core.
Yeah,
that would be interesting.
Or maybe it will just be a frangible bullet.
That could be too.
Because as you hit that flat tip,
have it shatter,
and then the lead would want to expand, and the zinc would be more brittle, and so it would probably break or fracture. So I don't know.
That would be interesting.
It would be interesting. It would be interesting because you could probably push it at higher velocities.
Yeah.
And so it'd still be lighter than a lead bullet and lighter than a copper jacketed lead bullet.
Right.
So you could probably go higher velocities. Just depends how thin the casing is of zinc and how much lead is in. But I could see in like a 45-70, like the fat type bullets, doing something like that, or a 500 mag would be actually really cool and really fun.
Yeah.
I'll have to talk with Al about it. I know it's crazy because you come up with all these... Just what he needs
is another project.
I know, you come up with all these cool ideas, but there's just not enough time when it comes time to like drawing up and then actually cutting metal and then testing and then adjusting and whatnot. So, but
well, should we jump into a news story?
Yes, let's.
All right. Police say suspects fired shots inside a Lexington pharmacy during an attempted robbery on Tuesday afternoon, and 2 people have been arrested. Fox 8 is told that around 2 p.m., so the middle of the afternoon, a pharmacist was grazed by a bullet and then fired back with his own gun. Steve Kuntz is the pharmacy manager at the Lexington Family Pharmacy. He said 2 masked men came to rob the pharmacy and shot at him. Kuntz legally carries at the pharmacy and fired back. He heard a man yelling for everyone to put their hands over their heads. I look up and it's a tall guy in a mask and he had a gun pointed at my cashier, Kuntz said. Kuntz heard his co-worker scream and says the alleged robber fired a shot before a second person darted inside. The robbery suspect's bullet reportedly hit a computer monitor. I said, I'm going to do what I need to defend myself and my loved ones there. Wow, not his coworkers, his loved ones.
Well,
What a
don't
nice
you love your
manager.
coworkers?
Henry's my only coworker.
Well, don't
so
you love
yes.
Henry?
The two men took off, and Kuntz says he went outside and they fired at each other again. He got a good look at the car. His boss says he's a hero. You find with Mr. Kuntz, it wasn't a good opportunity for these folks to come in today. Sometimes you break into the wrong place and there are people who fight back, and Mr. Kuntz did a great job today, said Russell Patterson, owner of Lexington Family Pharmacy. 5 other employees were able to go home safely tonight. They all credited Kuntz. The staff is also grateful for the rapid police response, saying a large number of officers arrived in under a minute to begin their investigation.
Whoa.
Keep in mind, they arrived in under a minute and the bad guys are already gone.
Yeah.
The pharmacy turned over clear surveillance video of the suspects to police. Lexington officers found and arrested both suspects in Salisbury, according to a Lexington Police Department news release. Marcellus Robinson, 31, has been charged with attempted armed robbery, possession of a firearm by a felon. Wow, you can't do that.
It's illegal. How did he do that?
Assault with a deadly weapon and inflicting serious injury with intent to kill. That's a serious one. Bryson Moss, 22, has been charged with attempted armed robbery, assault with a deadly weapon, and inflicting serious injury with intent to kill. Both suspects are currently being processed by Davidson County Detention Center. At this time, bond has not been set. So, pretty cool that could have gone a lot of different ways.
Where was this again? As you said, Lexington?
North Carolina.
Okay, so a little bit more conservative and gun friendly.
Yeah, a little bit. And, how nice it was to hear that the guy's boss was commending him, as opposed to other stories that we've read in the past where the guy gets fired.
I wonder if part of it was because it was a small business owner versus a chain.
Maybe.
Like a Walmart or something where,
that could...
Our policy is if you do this, you're fired.
Yeah. Yeah.
No tolerance policies, just like the ones in school where if you get in a fight, even though you were the one who is on the receiving end
defending yourself.
Yeah, if you were bullied and you got beat up, then you get suspended because you were in a fight. No tolerance policy. Those things drive me crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was cool that the guys come in shooting and left without anything and no one was seriously harmed, and the bad guys were caught because there was clear surveillance footage.
Yes,
not that foggy stuff. But
yeah, I would assume that pharmacies, that's probably
oh yeah.
I mean, all the druggies who...
they've got drugs people want, and they've got money.
Yeah, drugs and money.
Every time I go in to pick up my stuff for my heart, I just am like, there's just gobs and gobs of money running through this place.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a good story. Should we get into what we did with guns?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
I can go first.
I see something that is kind of shiny over here.
It's a little bit shiny. So I have a neighbor and a good friend whose his house is right next to the shop. He was having a garage sale. So on my way into work, I stopped and ended up bought a pressure washer for $25 and some other things. And then Stan came over later that afternoon, and before he came, I texted my buddy because he's a gun guy too. I said, "Hey, you got any gun stuff for sale?" And he was like, "Yeah, I might." And so when Stan came over, I'm like, "Let's go run over and check out what Mark's got." And he had some cool stuff. And I ended up picking up a Sears and Roebuck lever action 22. It is made by Winchester, and from my understanding, from a little bit of research that I've done, it's the same model as the Winchester 250. But what was super weird and what caught my attention with this gun is when you cock the lever, the trigger drops with the lever. It's like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's like that talk about overcomplicating something. But it's kind of cool. It's not in fantastic shape. It's not terrible. It's got a crack in the stock, which I already talked to Gene a little bit about.
Yeah, it
I
looks like
I don't know if
to...
it's even worth worrying about fixing. If it was on a bigger caliber that was going to send some force through it, I'd maybe worry about it. But it's got a goofy old school stock.
Old school Weaver.
It's terrible. It's a terrible optic.
The thing is, what's cool about it is it's time,
it is. It's very
time consistent, or
very period correct.
Period correct. That's the word.
Yeah.
Words. So.
But it's not very functionally friendly. I may end up taking it off and just using the iron sights.
It's a fixed power, and it looks like whoever mounted it, like,
you got to get super.
It's
close up on
canted a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a perfectionist, but
you are. But
I look through and it's tilted to the left. But anyways, this is a cool gun.
But it's cool.
A cool piece of history.
And that's what I liked about it is the history of it being Sears and Roebuck. I mean, you don't see that kind of stuff all the time.
The other thing too is like the reminder of like that era. You know, that's when, back in the day, you could order it from the Sears catalog, and mail order.
Yeah, and they'd come right to your house.
Ship it to your house.
Yeah. So I haven't had the time to date it.
With the serial number?
Yeah. I need to do that because I'm curious how old it is. But, it was cool. I got it cheap, and it helped him out.
How much did you get it for?
$100.
Are you serious? Mm-hmm. That's cool. Oh man, was Stan jealous?
Stan wasn't there when I bought it.
Oh, okay.
He was there. We were looking at it.
Stan would have probably like old man fought you.
He might have.
He probably would have pushed you on the ground, stomped on you.
It's got some scratches. Looks like somebody carved their initials in the receiver.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which I'm like, that's pretty tacky. But you know what? Doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It'll be a fun little plinker, and when my grandkids are a little bit bigger, it'll be something that they go out and have fun with. So
I mean, if you really want to, you could probably polish it out.
Probably could buff it out.
Yeah. But I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's part of the history of the gun.
The interesting thing is it's got finger grooves on the wood stock.
Those are not original either.
For like, yeah.
Yeah, they're very nicely done, but I sent pictures to Gene, and he was like, I'm like, what would you value this at? And he's like, oh, this and maybe this. He's like, wait, I just saw the finger grooves. Now it's this.
Yeah, the crack isn't even what like degrades it more. It's the finger grooves.
Yeah, and honestly, they're not terrible.
It doesn't feel bad.
I shoot left, and they actually fit better. I don't know if the person was left-handed. I don't know. They're not ideal.
They don't
either
fit
way.
Better left-handed.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, it's just a cool thing.
Yeah. It's the wood's kind of a blonde wood. It's
got a high gloss finish.
Yeah.
The receiver.
The rifling's good in it.
I believe the receiver used to be blued.
I don't know if it was.
Because the inside of the lever is still blued.
The inside of it, but that's not typical bluing. That almost looks like black paint to me.
Oh, I don't know.
And if the receiver had been blued, it has worn off so evenly and so perfectly.
Well, I wonder if they wanted the stainless look.
Somebody cleaned it off.
Yeah.
Maybe. Although pictures I've seen of this same gun look exactly like
do they?
This.
Okay,
yeah.
I could be totally wrong then. I'm probably wrong.
But anyway,
that's cool.
I was happy to get that.
It's a cool find, and it's in your favorite caliber.
Yeah.
22.
I do have a lot of 22s, but anyway.
For me, if I would have seen it, for $100 I probably would have bought it.
Right.
But and then I'd have that internal debate. It's like, it's Sears and Roebuck.
Right.
But it's 22.
Right, right. And I like shooting 22s, so it was no big deal. I also picked up a Vortex Crossfire 2. I don't know did I mention that last time? I don't remember if I had this last time. Anyway, That is slated for the Notos.
Okay, so you got a little
Yeah,
Crossfire.
just a little, basically
inexpensive.
22. Yeah,
It's like a 3 to 9 or something.
it's
Or
3 to 9. Yeah,
that should actually work pretty decent.
yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, the Crossfire glass isn't great, but
No.
it's like you're also talking about
It was-
a Notos,
Right,
You know, like
exactly.
What $200 air gun?
Yeah, they're more than that. They're closer to 3, but
3,
they're under
250,
3.
3.
Something like that, 270. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember,
But no, I figured that was appropriate for that setup.
yeah.
But anyway, that's about all I've done.
So it's kind of funny. You got to spend some like quality time with Stan and go look at a yard sale.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of grandfatherly grandson.
Yeah, he was at your
quality
place before he
time
came
and-
to mine.
Yeah, so we actually finished putting together his AR 9mm.
Oh, yeah.
So we built it as a rifle with a 16-inch barrel.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, Gunny's had some white label armory, like 16-inch 9mm barrels, threaded, 1 in 10 twist. And I had picked up one for mine, and I was like, oh, this actually, it shoots good enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're shooting 9mm, so it's, you know, as long as it doesn't throw the bullets way far, you know, apart,
Sure.
then it's probably good enough.
Uh-huh.
And so it shot good enough, and it was only like $80, I think.
Wow.
Like $79.99.
Yeah.
And I had told Stan, I was like, dude, if you're going to build one of these, build it like this, and then do an SBR, not the weird, goofy one with the arm brace where you
Yeah.
have to register
Which
it as an
everything
SBR
is in question anyway.
And you're admitting, you know, guilt or whatever.
Right.
Just build it as a rifle, submit the, you know, pay the $200 and have peace of mind that it's on your trust.
Right.
But yeah, so we did that. He was excited to test it out. I think he might have actually fired some rounds through it. I can't remember if he went out there right away. He's been struggling with his son-in-law's AR-10. I need to go shooting with Stan and just bring a couple of my different AR-10s and tools and just start like swapping parts, troubleshooting just to figure out what the issue is.
Yeah.
But it almost seems like it's just not getting enough gas
Oh, to cycle it?
to cycle it. And I had gotten an Aero Precision kit with the right buffer and spring for the AR-10. And so, you know, to make sure that he had the right spring, because he wasn't sure of the spring and the buffer and anyways. But then I wonder if I need to see how he's mounting his gas block, if it's up against the shoulder or what. But
Right.
anyways. So, long story short, Stan needs help with his AR-10. And so I'm going to try and go out there. I had to steal some parts off of Noah's AR-15.
Yeah.
And I asked him first. I was like, "Hey, can I steal the handguard off this and something else? And I'll put something on, you know, that's just as good later." And
Right.
he's like, "Oh, okay." You know, even though he hasn't gone shooting with me in a while.
Right.
You know, I keep singing that song to him, like the cat's in the cradle. Except it's like opposite. You know,
Right.
I'm wanting to spend time with my son. He's my only son.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, I want to play video games." Anyways, but anyway, so I installed as a thank you. Palmetto had some Timneys on sale, and so I installed a Timney trigger as the
Nice.
thank you. And then I also put, then I let him pick out of the handguards that I had ordered that came late. So
Right.
he has like a zombie green handguard, and
Oh, gosh.
I don't know. I think we need to take it to Lee and have him like just make things look
Yeah.
correct in a theme, any kind of
Yes.
theme that he picks, but just
Right.
because he has like a nickel boron
Needs
like
to be
upper
cohesive.
and yeah. So we did that. I helped another friend build an AR-15, and he just wanted a basic one, so we put that together. I got Al's AR-15 and his Troy pump action that we picked
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Picked up at Gunny's. You know, the ones that we've been kind of keeping them identical.
Right.
And I had put a Timney in mine with that sale,
Yeah.
and I had bought an extra Timney just in case Al, you know, decided he needed to do his. But man, I shot it. The difference between the mil spec and the Timney is just
Oh, sure.
It's like the difference is very distinct.
Yeah.
And with that pump action, then it's actually really nice. So you're shooting pump action 458 SOCOM with the Timney, and it's awesome. So we did that, and anyways, I did some other stuff. I didn't load any ammo this last week, which is like weird, right?
Yeah.
I've just been so busy. But I guess I've been busy like building and working on ARs for people.
Yeah.
But anyways. Oh, and then I got his other Al's AR, and he likes those round, like tubular handguards.
Okay.
That, he says, I don't want anything like any holes in it or anything like that. I just want it to be like a round tube.
Huh.
And I found a store that had those. And so
you didn't just go get a piece of PVC pipe and bolt that on?
Spray paint it black. And yeah. No, so I got that. And I actually like those too.
Yeah.
Depending on what I'm using it for.
Yeah.
And so I picked up a couple of those for me. Like a really long one and then a couple of 10-inch ones.
I like the rounded stuff too without... Like, the worst thing is the quad rail. That's the worst thing that has ever...
Yeah, and I think people don't even make those anymore.
I don't...
The cheese
horrible.
graters, yeah.
Yeah, they're horrible.
Because then you have to buy the rail covers.
Yeah.
Or like a Magpul AFG or vertical grip
usually
or something.
people just hang all kinds of crap on there that is pointless.
Yeah, to like try and...
Right.
Yeah.
But I like them... I like the M-Lock.
Yeah, I was going to say,
like
M-Lock is a cool design.
Not that I put stuff on it, but I like the way it looks with the holes in it and everything. It gives a little lighter look.
Yep. There's like so much you can do with...
Oh, yeah.
I was helping other people pick out AR-15s and AR-15 parts, and I had to explain, you just got to understand everything on the AR-15 is changeable.
Yeah.
Like, you can replace
the ultimate
anything.
modular gun.
And so if you buy it, you're just trying to start out, if you go a little bit cheaper, it's okay.
Yeah.
And you can always use it, and if you don't like that part, change it out.
Or do like what I do and just get rid of it and build another one.
Well, I have the problem of I find a part on sale and I pick up that part and then I have to build one.
Right, because you have that extra
all these
part.
parts, yeah. And then
exactly.
I'm missing another thing, so I have to buy a lower parts kit just to get the one part because they're too expensive, like by themselves. And then I have a lower parts kit that's almost complete, and so like I build it without that part, and then it's a bad, vicious cycle.
Yes.
But
yes.
Anyways,
but
we are.
If you don't already have an AR and you want to get one, and you have I want to build this super duper whatever, but I don't have the money to do it. There's deals out there where you can pick up a complete AR for like $400, $450 sometimes.
Yeah.
And they aren't great, but they're totally functional shooters. But that could be a base that you start with.
Yeah, start with that. And
if you've got that in your budget, start with that. And then just over time, when you see these sales, this handguard that I want's on sale, pick it up. Hey, so-and-so's got this sweet new barrel on sale.
Yeah.
And then just start changing it out and building it up to the way you want. And then you'll end up like Taco and have all these spare parts sitting around and you'll have to build another one.
Yep. Yeah. One thing that's weird is the and everybody poo-poos these, but the Bear Creek Arsenal.
Yeah.
I really like their right hand side charging, like
that's what
upper and BCG.
That's what we are doing for my daughter's 300 blackout build.
And I know it's reciprocating.
Yeah.
And whatever. I know that they're not known for like the highest end stuff.
Right.
But those
work.
pieces, I've swapped out the barrels and whatever. You can swap out the bolt, the barrel. You keep the BCG, like the carrier.
Right.
But it charges like an AK.
Yeah.
And
I much prefer side chargers over.
If you have a scope.
Yeah.
Mounted, it's just easier with the side charger.
Yeah. I agree.
So, anyways,
that's my AR that I built years ago. It's a left-handed side charge, but it's non-reciprocating. It's a Gibbs.
Yeah, you probably spent a decent amount on that then.
Yeah, it wasn't super cheap, but it's super nice. And reciprocating versus non-reciprocating, I don't think it's really that big of a deal. The only time I think it's an issue at all is where I shoot long guns left-handed. I don't really want a reciprocating one if it's set up right-handed.
Yeah.
If it's ejecting to the right, because then you've got that handle running back at your nose. But
I know, but still, it doesn't come close.
no,
because it's in
it's
the
really
forward
not a
part
big
of
deal.
it. So it's not like the handle's gonna hit you.
Yeah, if
The only problem would be is if it like you're leaning up against a gun in a weird or a tree in a weird way.
But you're gonna have issues even. With
I know it's
with the
right, 'cause the ejection
non-reciprocating
port and all
one.
that stuff. So just I have a hard time seeing where it would be you know a flawed thing, especially for like a range gun that is not your self-defense.
I mean, non-reciprocating is definitely cool. Is it worth paying an extra $150 just for that feature? Probably not.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I've built a handful of the Bear Creek Arsenal side charge setups, and I've been happy with them. You know.
Yeah, I don't know.
They work.
Of all
I
the
haven't had
ARs
any
I
issues.
have, I just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Side charge is definitely the way to go, in my opinion. It's more ergonomic and it's just easier. It's more functional.
Yeah. And if you got a round stuck or something,
yep,
you just do it like an AK, put it against the tailgate and whack.
or stomp on it.
Or stomp on it. Well, if you stomp on it, then you're like pointing the barrel up. I like it to be pointed down, but anyways.
Depending on how you do it.
Yeah. Anyways,
all right,
we're out of time. But it's been fun.
Thanks for listening, and share with your friends, and everybody go support our sponsors. So go right now and place an order with each of our sponsors.
And call up Lee and say, I want what Taco's getting with his flying pigs.
Yeah. And make it slippery.
Okay, until next time, stay safe, have fun.
Be nice and take somebody's shoe.
Dude, Noah got his permit the other day. He was, I don't know how you were when you were a kid, but I was like, I got my permit, let's go drive.
Yeah.
Right? He got it on like Friday or like Thursday or something. You gotta drive today.
Yeah.
And it's Sunday, He's like, no. And he ran off and like hid in his room and stuff. I'm like,
I don't understand kids.
He's like, no. What if I crash? What if I do this? He's just worried about everything. I was like, well, then don't crash. Like, you just drive slow, and then and we can drive to the church parking lot. It's like a block or two away, something like that. And then you can kind of get the feel for like turning and stuff. I forget how kids don't know how to turn a steering wheel. And like they brake, and it's like
you go through the windshield.
You go all the way through the windshield because it's like such a hard brake, and then the gas is like and that's not even driving stick. That's just with the automatic. He said that he's like, I'm not gonna do it. I said, okay, well, you can't eat dinner until you go drive. Like,
I don't get that.
And if you fast tonight, you're not gonna eat breakfast until you drive. Like, you can't eat until you drive. And he's like, just freaking out, and decided to go with the close one and drive to it. And, there were a couple times he was gonna hit a car because he just wasn't turning fast enough.
Yeah.
So I grabbed the wheel to crank it, to miss the car, and he just slams on the brake. We're going like, I don't know, maybe 10 miles an hour. He's like going so slow, but like a slow, like gonna crash type thing. Oh man, it's so intense.